Huge news, folks. Absolutely huge news. President Trump gave another cabinet meeting today, and you're not going to believe what we found out, especially from Tulsi Gabbard and regarding specifically the 2020 election. I'm going to play for you the clip really quickly. By the way, this is Trump's seventh cabinet meeting, exercised and executed in majestic fashion of radical transparency. He takes questions for hours. Seventh cabinet meeting. And the guy's only been in office, 6.5, 7 months, for crying out loud? How many times did Biden do that? Goose egg, zero. If you are just so appreciative and just love the fact that President Trump does this, shares with the American people everything that's happening with our government that's meant to serve us, give me a huge yeah in the comments right now. Seven cabinet meetings. Holy man. And he's just getting cooking, y'all. Okay, so that's absolutely huge news. I'm also going to share with you huge news about Fed Governor Lisa Cook, who was found with mortgage fraud. So she committed mortgage fraud while she was denying Americans lower interest rates. I'm going to share with you what Trump just did about her and her response, which is pretty alarming to say the least. And the last story that I'm going to share with you today is just absolutely heartbreaking. 23-year-old Irina Zarutska, who fled Ukraine to seek safety from the war and hoping for a new beginning in America. Her life was cut short. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened, why, and share with you a quick clip from that. It's going to be very, very illuminating, to say the very least. But first, check this clip out right here of President Trump asking directly, because he already knew, he was briefed. This is a huge jaw-dropper moment about the 2020 election, where President Trump asks Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard about what she has found regarding the political weaponization of the previous administration, and a whole lot more. Check this out.
Mr. President, you have charged me with the mission of finding the truth and telling the truth to the American people. And we've exposed some of the worst examples of the weaponization of intelligence in the last several weeks. I will continue down that mission and that path wherever it leads. Transparency, telling the truth, is what will drive true accountability for the American people who deserve nothing less. And lastly, Mr. President, all of us are charged with being good stewards of taxpayer dollars. I've gone through a reorganization for ODNI that we've announced in the last week. We've cut nearly half of redundant, unnecessary functions within ODNI, saving taxpayers over $700 million a year. We will continue focusing on our core mission in keeping the American people safe, and appreciate your leadership and your focus on this most critical task.
And you've also found many bags of information. I think they call them burn bags. They're supposed to be burned and they didn't get burned, having to do with how corrupt the 2020 election was. And when will that all come out?
Mr. President, I will be the first to brief you once we have that information collected. But you're right, we are finding documents literally tucked away in the back of safes in random offices, in these bags and in other areas, which again speaks to the intent of those who are trying to hide the truth from the American people and trying to cover up the politicization that was led by people like John Brennan and James Clapper and others that have caused really immeasurable harm to the American people and to our country.
Great job. Thank you. We look forward to hearing it. The public looks forward.
So you heard it directly from Tulsi Gabbard saying, you are right, Mr. President, finding documents and files and hidden in burn bags and old safes tucked away in the corner. I mean, what? The travesty, the abomination that is Biden, Kamala, Obama, what they've done to this country is, it's the worst thing that's ever happened. I mean, it's literally the worst act of sedition I've ever seen in my lifetime. I know in your lifetime as well, probably. I mean, this makes Watergate look like a piss in the pants. And so I'm really, really intrigued. She already uncovered, as you know, the big Russia collusion hoax. Schiff, Brennan, Clapper, Comey. Obama was the architect. I know what you're thinking right now, Nez. I'm sick and tired of hearing about these things. I want to see accountability. It's going to happen. These things cannot happen overnight. They're not as fast as we love what President Trump does and how he executes things very fast, very fast. It doesn't work that way. But I truly believe, I trust in the process. I trust in Tulsi Gabbard, and I think accountability is coming. But just to be very, very clear, let me repeat. She is admitting what President Trump kind of just, lobbed it up and volleyed it for her and teed it up for her, saying that like you did find some discrepancies in the 2020 election. She says, yes, you are right. And you will be the first to know once we have concluded our investigation. And I believe her 100%, just like she did in that press conference a couple of weeks ago, where she laid it all out about Russiagate and Russia hoax in her brilliant fashion. There is no way in a billion years you will ever be able to convince me that when I went to sleep on that fateful night, November 5th, 2020, when Trump was ahead in Wisconsin, ahead in Michigan, ahead in Georgia, ahead in Virginia, I believe, or was it might have been North Carolina, South Carolina, I don't even know. I went to bed thinking, yes, he's got a second term, only to find out that this vegetable in chief got 81 million votes, which is over 15 million more than Obama, who's considered the black messiah of the hypocrite Democrat Party. No. I'm willing to stake the farm that something nefarious happened during 2020, and I hope to God this comes out very soon. Let me know what you guys think. And by the way, just a real quick bonus. Don't you think this just kind of popped in my head here? I just want to share this with you. I know a lot of people love Rubio. I know a lot of people love Pete Hegseth. I do too. I actually think the perfect 2028 ticket for president and vice president would be J.D. Vance president and Tulsi Gabbard as VP. Are you with me on that? Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, our next story, Fed Governor, Reserve Governor Lisa Cook gets the pink slip from President Donald Trump just yesterday. And why? Because she committed, just like Letitia James, this is the sequel, just like Adam Schiff, just like all of these swine cockroach criminal Democrats, she committed mortgage fraud. But get this. He fires her, and now she is saying she's not going anywhere. Can you imagine this? Here, take a good look at this. Here is Lisa Cook right here, who President Trump is saying, you're out of here, man. You committed mortgage fraud. And she's saying, I'm not going anywhere, when it is very, very clear. I did some digging. Look at this. Look at these signatures right here. So she said her home in Ann Arbor, Michigan, was her principal legal residence, getting a state tax break and a lower mortgage and insurance rate. 2 weeks later, she said her home outside of Atlanta was her principal legal residence, getting a state tax break and a lower mortgage and insurance rate. This, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow American citizens and global citizens, is capital M mortgage fraud. Here's Trump today in this legendary press conference with his cabinet today, roasting a fake news reporter when the idea that he fired the first black woman to ever run the governorship of the Federal Reserve. Watch this.
About Lisa Cook. You have spoken out very strongly for a long time about what you see as the weaponization of government.
Yeah.
Is your administration weaponizing
No.
government by digging into the mortgage records of officials you don't like?
No, they're public. I mean, you can find out those records. You can go check out the records yourself. And you should be doing that job, actually. You wouldn't do that because that's not the kind of reporter you are. But you should be doing that job. I shouldn't have to be doing it. If you did your job properly, we wouldn't have problems like Lisa Cook. Go ahead. You were going to say something.
So would you be trying to fire
Blue?
Lisa Cook if she had voted to lower interest rates?
On national
Please.
security.
I think we have to have lower interest rates, yes.
He's so right about that. I mean, the enemy is within. The hypocrite propagandist corporate media is the enemy of the people. Just like with Spencer Pratt, everything that Spencer Pratt is uncovering about gaseous Newscomb, the most serpentine haircut that passes for a man, American psycho who's been funneling money from fire victims leaving water hydrants empty reservoirs, not allowing these people to rebuild their homes. Spencer Pratt's finding out all this stuff and exposing Newscomb. Why isn't the media doing their job and doing that? Why isn't the media probing this? Why? Because that's all they are. They're just shills for the DNC. Here's Hakeem Jeffries. Speaking of shills, phonies, and clowns, here's Hakeem Nobody's Dream Jeffries, who's the Democratic leader. This is his statement right here. Dr. Lisa Cook is the first Black woman ever to serve on the Federal Reserve Board of Governors. Donald Trump is trying to remove her without a shred of credible evidence that she has done anything wrong, to the extent which I just showed you the proof. She committed mortgage fraud by using the same exact, you can see the signatures match, that she committed fraud saying this was her principal residence when it wasn't. To the extent anyone is unfit to serve in a position of responsibility because of deceitful and potentially criminal conduct, it is the current occupant of the White House. So he's calling the president of the United States, who's literally saving our country, whose approval ratings are soaring, cleaning up, doing your job, doing the job of Newscomb, the job of Muriel Bowser. He's going to do the job of Mayor me, Brandon Johnson, who's even worse than Lori Lightfoot. You're calling him somebody who's a criminal, somebody who is deceptive. That's what you're doing when you guys, the Democrats, have the worst approval rating in political history. You can't make this stuff up. I mean, you guys literally have the worst approval rating in political history, and you're calling him a louse. The American people are not buying your phony projection and slander of a distinguished public servant. So let me just, okay, God, I can't believe this absolute abomination. Based on your statement, Hakeem Nobody's Dream, you're essentially declaring that the only qualification that Lisa Cook has to serve on the Federal Reserve Board of Governors is that she's a Black woman. Am I getting that incorrect? I mean, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to be wrong. I never, ever make anything about race. The only people who inject race are race hustlers and race baiters like Al Sharpton, Brandon, Mayor Brandon, me, BLM, Black Power Johnson, and the whole lot of them, Maxine Klingon Waters and Madam Ghetto Crockett, and this guy right here. I never inject race. I don't care about race. I don't care about the pigmentation of your skin, which is completely arbitrary. But if I'm understanding this correctly, all you're saying is the only reason she's qualified is that she's a Black woman. I mean, am I wrong here? Let me know in the comments. Oh, also really quickly, I've got a great new logo for the new Cracker Barrel brand right here, America First. Now, President Trump actually weighed in today on the whole Cracker Barrel fiasco. I could really care less. I mean, you want to go woke, then I'm happy for you. You're going to go broke. I mean, it's just a matter of fact. You're going to get Bud Lighted, and that's what's happening right there. Their stock prices dropped tremendously, but President Trump says Cracker Barrel should go back to the old logo, admit a mistake based on customer response, the ultimate poll. He's right about, see, this is a businessman. This is a businessman. That's why he won the election. He listened to people. Just like if you want to be successful in business in the free market, you need to listen to your customers and manage the company better than ever before. They got $1 billion worth of free publicity if they play their cards right. Very tricky to do, but a great opportunity. Have a major news conference today. Make Cracker Barrel a winner again. Remember, in just a short period of time, I made the United States of America the hottest country anywhere in the world. 1 year ago, it was dead. Good luck. He's absolutely right. Trump was right about everything.
She fled war-torn Ukraine only to be stabbed to death on Charlotte's light rail. That's according to friends. The man accused of stabbing her remains in the hospital, and as recent as last month, there were concerns about his mental capacity. CMPD has identified the victim as 23-year-old Irina Zarutska. They say she was stabbed to death Friday night on the light rail, and we have photos of her. The crime scene was at the East-West station in South End. CMPD is charging DeCarlos Brown with her murder. Court records say he is homeless and he has a lengthy criminal history. Just last month, his public defender made a motion questioning his ability to proceed in his court case about misusing the 911 system. The judge ordered a forensic evaluation, but he was allowed to be out and about. The criminal charge stemmed from this past January when police say he called 911 and claimed someone gave him man-made material that controlled when he ate, talked, and walked. The magistrate allowed him to be released from jail without paying anything on a written promise to appear. And police have not said what led up to this stabbing. We will likely learn more in court, but the first appearance has not been set yet because he has not been formally charged.
Oh, so he's a complete psycho. Called 911 and said there was man-made substance making. I thought you Democrats and hypocrites, I thought you waving your Ukrainian flag, I thought you were all about Ukraine. I thought you loved Ukraine. I thought you were for the Ukrainian people. Why is not one single Crockett, Jeffries, Pelosi, none of you schmucks, why aren't any of you guys talking about this? Why isn't the media talking about this? Well, you just saw why, right? It doesn't fit the narrative. Now, if this poor Ukrainian girl, because that's all they make everything about is race, if that Ukrainian girl happened to have been darker colored and the perpetrator was white, what do you think would happen then? Let me know in the comments down below. I can't wait to hear everything that you have to say. I love reading your comments. Let me know. By the way, Caroline Leavitt, Stephen Miller, the White House staff, they all, Newscomb's people, they all watch this show. Let them know what you think in the comments down below. There's a really, really good chance they're going to read it. Don't forget to tap that thumbs up if you love America. It doesn't cost you a thing, but it helps us out immeasurably. Check out these videos coming up here on the screen just in case you missed them. Tap my face right here to subscribe and follow. It's absolutely free. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless the USA and all who defend her. I'll see you soon.